What is going on, everyone? Yu-Gi-Oh here, and we are back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at a new 2.5 card combo that bridges the Goblin Biker and Mikankguu archetypes together, and this time we are working with a new primary engine that is a little bit different than the last two card combo that I showed you that involved Revolution Synchron and Tour Guide from the Underworld. Yes, as you can see from the thumbnail and the cards in front of me, we are on the Symphonic Warrior archetype. And let me tell you, Symphonic Warrior guitar in and of itself can generate a whole lot. It can make a Gabonga by itself and also allows us to pivot into some really interesting plays, including making a Power Tool Braver Dragon, depending on what we have in hand as extension tools or as just other ways to play. So for this particular combo, we do have, like I said, Symphonic Warrior guitar, and we also have Emergency Teleport, which again, will show you how the play develops. Huge shout out to Krayden in particular for kind of putting me on the Symphonic Warrior package. I wasn't a huge fan of it at first when it came to other Goblin builds, but in this particular build, it does discard for cost, but again, we don't mind a lot of things being in the graveyard, whether they be Mikankguu girls or equips, or other pieces of extension that we can use as graveyard fodder. So it's all good. I'm really excited about this combo. Again, in the last combo video, we used Tour Guide and Revolution Synchron. It gets a similar end board, but again, with some caveats here and there. We'll explain those as we go along. Again, this is still a work in progress. We are so close to making a refined list. We're doing a ton of testing, and so far the test results have been very, very promising, and we're looking forward to putting out a list very shortly. So please keep it locked here. And as I said before, I'm excited to show you what kind of boards we're able to come up with here. As you've seen on the community tabs page, we are able to get some bonkers boards with enough extension in hand. So if you want to stay in the know with all of that interesting info, please like, subscribe, ding the notification bell to stay in the know with all of that good Goblin Biker Mikankguu goodness. Okay, awesome. Let's get into it and let's see what we can do here. So obviously we have Symphonic Warrior guitar and E-Telly in hand. Like I said, we do have to have a discard in addition to that as per guitar's sort of effect, but that's all good. What we're going to end up doing is activating guitar here, putting it into scale, and then we're going to go guitar effect, sending a card for discard cost, and to the graveyard. And of course, that could be, you know, a Mikankguu, it could be an equip spell, it could be something else that generates more of an asset value later on. So just, you know, bear with me. It's not the worst thing. So anyway, we're sending for cost, and we're going to special from our deck our guitarist. Now on summon, we have guitarist effect targeting the Symphonic Warrior guitar, and we're going to actually bounce that back to hand. That's important to note for later on. Cool. Now we're going to activate our Emergency Teleport here, and that's going to allow us to special out our Nian Nian. And E-Telly is, of course, going to hit the graveyard. We still have guitar in hand. We're going to then overlay guitarist and Nian Nian here for, yes, you guessed it, big Gabonga. We're going to go Gabonga effect here, and we are going to add our Doug to our hand. We're going to go Doug effect here, detach guitarist to then special, and then we're going to go Doug effect, and that's going to allow us to grab a grand entrance. So similarly to the last combo, what we're going to end up doing here is we're actually going to overlay on top of Gabonga our fortress, but it's important for this combo that you do move fortress and its materials up to the extra monster zone. So up here, so it clears room for the bottom, and you'll see how that becomes important later on. Anyway, we're going to go fortress effect here, and we're going to detach Gabonga. Gabonga's going to hit the graveyard, and we are going to add to our hand, of course, our full armored Exes trap. That's going to be added there. Now we can activate our grand entrance, and we're going to search for a Sploder, detach the Nian Nian finally here, and then special out Sploder. Of course, the grand entrance will also go to graveyard. We're going to go Sploder effect, targeting our Gabonga, and we're going to special out the Gabonga over here to this side of the field. Okay, really nice. So what we're then going to do, we have two open slots here. We are going to normal summon our guitar, and we're going to go guitar effect to revive or reborn the guitarist that's in our graveyard. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that we do have Nian Nian in graveyard. Please keep that in mind as we move along with this combo. It will be relevant for a really crucial end board piece later on. Great. So now we have Guitarist, Doug, and Sploder here. We have 2 level 3s, which is a 6. And in case you didn't know, Guitarist is also a tuner. So that's really valuable information. And before we can maybe make that line, we're going to also put Lancer on top of our Fortress just so that we have it. But like I said, we have a tuner in conjunction with these 2 level 3s. So what we can end up doing here is synchroing these 3 materials into our favorite Power Tool Braver Dragon, and we're going to go Power Tool Braver Dragon here to equip directly from it to deck. Cannot be Ash, Durendal, Arabesque, and Maya Wishadori. Okay, so these 3 are simultaneously equipped. Again, we have full Armored XZs in hand here, and we're going to go Durendal effect, add us Renault. Now, something that we have also been working with is instead of using Renault, we are going to also try out Oliver. This essentially gets you the exact same end board. However, you don't get the kind of recursion on your opponent's turn that Renault provides. And that's just something to keep in mind. Some people may view it as a bit of a win more situation. I think it could be necessary for more clapback and just an easier time OTKing, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. We're still trying it out, but I'd like to think that Oliver in our hand is a lot less bricky than just having a Renault, for example. So, you know, these are different considerations that we're working through as we go along here. And keep that in mind because, again, we're still refining and testing. So anyway, we have Renault in hand along with our full Armored XZs card. What we're going to end up doing is similarly to the last combo is we're going to go Arabesque effect and we're going to bounce back the Power Tool Braver Dragon in order to summon our Hare here. And on summon, of course, we're going to go Hare effect to add a Fire Dance. Okay, now I'll just say this too. I did the bounce back first. Typically you summon and then you bounce back. So just keep that in mind, but it's all good. It ends up in the same board state anyway. And of course the Maya Wishadori will fall off because Braver is no longer on field. Okay, excellent. So now that we have a Fire Warrior in Hare, we are going to activate Renault to special. It becomes a level 1 tuner. Renault effect is then going to target the Durendal in our graveyard, and we're going to add that back to our hand. Okay, so far, so good. We have a level 3. We have a level 1 tuner. As you can guess, we're going to then synchro these off and go into perhaps the best Omni Negate that we have right now / mini macro Cosmo, and that is Herald of the Ark Light. So right there, you're already threatening a Herald. You're putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. Any card from, or any monster card, sorry, from hand or deck is banished instead if try to be sent to the graveyard. So that is really interesting. And of course, like I said, puts a ton of pressure on the opponent's turn. So, all right. So at that point in time, we do have a Mayo in graveyard for Hare, but we also, like I said, have the Fire Dance here. So in the case that you may have, let's say, an Oliver rather than a Renault, you may want to use the Mayo here rather than the Fire Dance. It's completely up to you how you want to do this. I'll show you this line with Renault and show you this line with the Fire Dance. But let me know in the comments if you want to see the Oliver line or if you want me to kind of spell out how we would do the Oliver line in the other combo. Like I said, very similar end board, just a different kind of clapback response. So these are just considerations to have as we go along. So I'm going to activate Fire Dance here and then non-target bring back Hare. Now, remember when I said we have Nyan Nyan engraved? Well, a level 3 was just special summoned onto the board. So now at this point in time, we can go Nyan Nyan effect and special her out. Now, she does become a tuner, and if she were to leave as a result of being synchro summoned, then of course she'd be banished. However, what's really nice is that we are going to actually end up overlaying Nyan Nyan and our guitar. You can keep these over here if you like, or you can move over here, but you know, be careful because of anima. So 2 wins, 2 level 3 wins is going to get us to a totem bird. Okay, now I know you can't see that because of the glare, so for now I will put it over here. Like I said, just be careful because of, you know, anima and all of that, but just for the sake of this video and for the sake of clarity, we'll put Totem Bird over here. And of course, Totem Bird is a spell and trap negate by detaching 2 material. So really good situation that we're in right now. We have an Omni Negate / Mini Macrocosmo on board. We have a non-target attach here in Dark Knight Lancer. We also have a Goblin Biker Big Gabonga, which is a target attach. We are then going to set our full Armored XZs. And again, for that Graveyard Recursion piece, we're going to activate Durendal and equip it to the Herald that's on field. In the end phase, we're going to go Gabonga effect, and that's going to allow us to attach our Boom Mock just to get him into rotation as well. Okay, so again, we also have a spot open here for the Hare being a level 3, and so that way we have full armored Xyz live. We have Sploder in graveyard to put him in rotation as well and have that consistent layered graveyard recursion. So we are looking really good here. I think we're in a really prime position to have a lot of response and follow-up. We're going to play this through a little bit just so you can see how, again, we have this layered type of interruption. And I don't want to say it's similar to like Snake Eyes by any means, but it is really nice when you have a board that isn't just simply you see what you get and you get what you see. You have something that can, again, push through different board states and continually sort of compound itself in different game states. And your opponent's just like, well, where do I go from here? What do I do next? So, again, let's just see how this plays out. So if they normal summon or summon something onto the field, we can activate our Sploder here. Oh, sorry, folks, just messing up the field casually. We're going to activate Sploder, like I said, in graveyard, and we're going to detach, just like we did in the last combo, the Xyz Armor Fortress, just so that way we can use its equip effect off of the Armored Xyz. So we're going to, anyway, detach, and then special, and then what we're going to do here is activate Gabanga if you'd like. You can then take that monster, and that's a really good form, a solid form of disruption there. Then afterwards, you can activate full armored Xyz, and you can overlay Hare and your Sploder here. The Fire Dance is going to fall off as a result. Of course, full armored Xyz will also be in graveyard by that time, and go into just, you know, again, for another interruption on the board, a Cicada King. Or yeah, I was going to say Cicada, but Cicada I think is how it's pronounced. So we're going to a Cicada King, which is again another on-field negate. And if you want to detach a material, you can detach the Hare, so that way your Mayo in graveyard is live. Again, we still have our Herald of the Ark Light here equipped with Durendal. So in the case that they activate a really big power spell here, or a key searcher, or whatever the case may be, you can say, okay, cool, let's just chain our Herald here. And again, they might also try to force a battle phase to get rid of this. The same thing will happen. It's all good. So you'll send these two to the graveyard, and then in chain, you can go Chainlink 1, Herald, Chainlink 2, Durendal, target the Renault engrave. So Renault will special out. And of course, Herald will get its search for an Ohime. And it's really nice to have Ohime in hand here. We are playing around with a couple different builds that actually doesn't use Ohime, but puts it in the side. So just keep that in mind. Again, it's not necessary to have Ohime, but it does offer a lot to the board if you decide to go that route. You'll also notice that Ohime and Rev Synchron, of course, make an easy level 9 Power Tool Braver. So these are things to consider. On a new chain, we're going to go Renault effect, and in our graveyard, target the Fire Dance and add that back to hand for an immediate response. Like I said, if you go Cicada King to negate, you can just send the Hare, and then all of a sudden now your Mayo or your Fire Dance become immediately live, and that brings out the Hare, gets the Arabesque Search, and also procs your Dark Knight Lancer to keep breaking their board by you know, non-target attaching, which is really nice. You also have the Renault here too, if you decide to want to link it off at any point in time post battle phase, if you don't already win at that point. So like there are a lot of ways to play here. You can also again bring out the Hare at some point and use that to you know, link off and do other plays. So like, you know, there's just a lot of flexibility here. So again, what we have in graveyard is our full armored Xyz. We could go that effect to detach, and then target our Dark Knight Lancer, and then equip Fortress, which allows us to have Fortress's equip effect too. So, I mean, again, you have a board that just has a lot of different interaction points. You still have 3 or 4 cards in hand in addition to these two, which is really nice. You have an immediate follow-up plan. You have a Spell and Trap negate, an Omni negate / Little Floodgate. You have the non-target attach, the target attach, and then also an Imperm. I mean, there's so much that your opponent has to play through here, and we hit them in different ways. So I'm really happy with this kind of board state. Again, shout out to Krayden, who put me on the Symphonic package. It just allows for more access to Power Tool Braver Dragon, which is, I think, really necessary in this build to generate that really good grind game that the Mikankguu can provide by using our graveyard resources, right? And don't forget that if you're using Hare as a material, even if it was summoned off of Mayo, it is not banished, it's sent to graveyard instead, which just breaks the whole game, because you can continually to use that Mayo in graveyard in order to summon, use it as material, or just use it to, you know, straight up OTK the opponent. So with that all being said, folks, that is the combo. We're looking at a really good board here that I think offers plenty of interaction points, whether it be negates or disruptions in the form of, attaching the opponent's monsters, which again is just so incredibly powerful. So if you like this kind of stuff, you want to see more Goblin Biker Mikankguu material, if you want to see us put out that refined deck list, please do like, subscribe, ding the notification bell to stay in the know with all of that good Goblin Biker Mikankguu goodness. Man, it feels so good to be on Mikankguu again. If you want to be a member of the channel, think about subscribing to that as well. And applying to be part of our Goo Gang. I'm posting a ton to the community page, so that way you can stay up to though and all this sort of text that we are rocking. So with that all being said, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Symphonic Warrior guitar package, signing out.